Welcome back guys. In this video I'll be testing Cyberpunk version 2.3 on my Steam Deck running on SteamOS. It's the LCD variant of deck. Display supports up to 60Hz refresh rate. This is the update log. The patch introduces 4 new vehicles, the auto drive feature, self-driving element caps and more. It also contains update for the photo mode as well as support for AMD FSR 3.1 frame generation. Developers have decoupled the Upscaler from FSR frame gen. This means we can combine XeSS version 2 Upscaler with FSR 3.1 frame generation and support for HDR plus gaming among others. LCD variant of deck does not support HDR but the OLED variant supports it. First I'll showcase the base game performance, we'll run it without any mods. After that I'll be using Optiscaler Mod to improve the in-game XeSS version 2 Upscaler's image quality. In-game Upscaler produces some noticeable texture shimmering around the fine textures like the fences and meshes. I think the developers implemented a very bad reactive mask. The mask is used to preserve the texture details at the target resolution, especially when dealing with objects that change rapidly. Was not impressed by the in-game FSR 3.1 frame generation smoothing effect. We'll be using Nukem9 Mod to replace the in-game DLSS frame generation implementation with FSR frame generation implementation. I have connected my FlyDigi Vader 4 Pro controller to deck via Bluetooth mode. For this game I am using Proton version 10-10 as the compatible delay. Launch the game. Version 2.3 also adds support for AMD Antilag 2, which helps in cutting down the latency. It conflicts with the mod Antilag 2. This results in mod Antilag 2 not working properly. Play. This should not be a problem on Steam Deck as it runs on Linux based SteamOS. Linux does not support Antilag 2. Mod will try to replace the in-game NVIDIA Reflex implementation with Latency Flex, which should help in cutting down the latency. Your game started. Performance QAM settings, overlay level set to 3 and just set it to 2. I have uncapped the FPS by enabling disable frame limit and a lot tearing settings. Manual GPU clock setting disabled for the time being. Will enable it when I enable FSR frame generation. In-game settings, graphics preset set to low. In Dogtown, even with the low preset, deck will struggle to maintain a steady 30 FPS. First I'll highlight the image quality of FSR 3.0 Upscaler. This is not 3.1. Using the Upscaler's balance preset, sharpness level set to 0.5, frame generation disabled. Disable post-processing effects like film grain, chromatic aberration, depth of field, lens flare and motion blur. These are the settings that come with the low graphics preset, low to medium. Game is very heavy on the CPU. Apply video, 800p resolution, no FPS cap applied, VSync off. Yeah, we are in. Just observe the fence in the background and the barbed wire here on the barricade. They are exhibiting texture shimmering. Their textures appear to be flickering when viewed from a far off distance. And I'm not even moving, completely stationary, not moving the camera as well. This is very disappointing. And if you observe the leaves here, they are also exhibiting some texture shimmering. You just exit my vehicle, aim at the leaves, see, right here, the leaves of any tree. This is very disappointing. Barbed wire, textures appear to be flickering. FPS here is close to 50. FPS depends on the area, the scene. 50 to 55. Okay, I'll just switch to the in-game XeSS Upscaler now. Oh, these are just some barricades. I thought it was a barbed wire. The barbed wire is here. What the hell just happened? Someone ran over me. And this is the barbed wire that I was talking about. Upscaler set to XeSS using its balance preset. Sharpness level 0.5 apply. Resume the game. Immediately I can observe a slight increase in sharpness level. FPS it's close to 55. Roughly the same performance. But yeah, I'm still observing some texture shimmering when viewing the fence from a far off background. but the shimmering effect is considerably less than the shimmering effect produced by FSR Upscaler. I'll reduce the shimmering effect further by using Optiscaler XeSS. See, bad image stability. This is why I'll be using Optiscaler mod. Leaves of the tree are not producing that ugly shimmering effect. This issue has been fixed by the Ingame XeSS Upscaler. Barbed wire, some shimmering effect is produced, so it's highly recommended to use XeSS version 2 Upscaler instead of FSR 3 Upscaler. Okay, load another sequence. Now I'm standing right outside V's apartment building in Little China. Here FPS is a bit variable, 30 to 40. Better to just cap the FPS at 30 for a more stable experience. I have uncapped the FPS for the sake of testing. Now I'll engage in combat, kill the cops, steal their vehicle. Cops will come after me. Chase sequence in this game is very demanding. Now on the FPS counter. The FPS is not dropping below 30. Just waiting for the cops to show up. Ram their vehicles into mine. GPU load 97%, but look at that CPU load. Oh my god, 95%. Steam Deck's processor has been pushed to its limits. This is just insane. FPS 30 to 40. So CPU is the limiting factor. Massive stutter there. Switches can occur. Okay, I'll retaliate. So 30 FPS is possible in the vanilla version of the game. This area is less demanding. Throw a grenade. Oh my god. Somehow the cops survived that explosion. Who's this guy? He's wearing a helmet. Okay, now I'll test the game in Dogtown, which is exclusive to Phantom Liberty expansion. Dogtown is more demanding than the vanilla version of Cyberpunk. I am in Dogtown now, observing very ugly texture shimmering going on here. Okay, I'll be riding my bike. Keep an eye on the FPS counter. Massive stutter here. Glitchy audio. Yeah, FPS dropped to around 25. Audio is not rendered properly. Oh my god, look at that CPU load. Dogtown is a bit too much for Steam Deck's processor. 23 FPS. And again. Okay, I'll engage in combat now. Deck can't maintain a steady 30 FPS in this area, irrespective of the settings. Shoot this guy. (22 FPS). See. Okay, now I'll test the in-game FSR frame generation. Look at that frame pacing graph. I'm actually observing this stuttering, this choppiness. See. Set in-game frame generation to FSR 3.1. Apply. Need to restart the game. Play. Yeah, we are in. I'm in Little China and oh my god, the performance didn't improve at all. Look at that FPS value, 30 to 36. I can observe some latency. So FSR frame generation added latency but did not improve the performance. Find this hilarious. Very high CPU and GPU load. I'll enable manual GPU clock speed setting. Steam Deck's APU draws up to 15 watts of power. This power is shared between the CPU and the GPU. If the CPU draws too much power, GPU's performance will tank and vice versa. I have set its value to 1400 MHz. Yeah, much better with the manual GPU clock speed setting enabled. But I'm still observing, I'm still observing some choppiness. See, not impressed with the in-game FSR frame generation's fluidity. That's why I'll be using Nukem9 Mod. Look at the choppiness here. Vignette like effect appears when I crouch. I'll be using a mod to disable this effect. This vignette effect interferes with FSR's smoothing effect. See, animation quality is looking so choppy. What's the point of enabling FSR frame generation? FPS value close to 60. Does it look like 60 FPS to you? Exit. Switch to SteamOS desktop mode. We'll be using the latest Preview 13 nightly build of Optiscaler mod. Can be downloaded from Optiscaler's GitHub. I'll give its link in the description. Scroll down until you find the asset section. Expand it. Click on the .7z link here. Build version 0.7.7 Preview 13 20250719. We'll be using Fakevapi's Fakenvapi API version 1.3.4. It will replace the in-game reflex implementation with latency flex. Click on the .7z link here. We'll be using build 0.130 of Nukem9's mod universal version. Can be downloaded for free from Nexus Mods. Just need to have a free Nexus Mods account in order to download any stuff from here. Click on manual download under universal. Click on slow download. Nukem9's mod FSR frame generation produces some noticeable graphical artifacts in this game. I'll be using FrameGen ghosting fix for Cyberpunk to fix these graphical artifacts. This mod is available on Nexus Mods. Click on files here. I'll show you which version of the mod to download for Steam Deck. Scroll down until you find the version 1.4b 16:10 version of the mod. 16:10 is the aspect ratio of Steam Deck. This mod does not require Archive XL to work. Click on it. Click on manual download here. Click on download. Click on slow download. Need to disable the in-game vignette effect for the proper functioning of FSR frame generation. We'll be using a mod to do it. Crouch vignette effect remover available on Nexus Mods. Click on files here. Click on manual download. Download the latest version of the mod. Click on slow download. Next mod, disable vignette and/or sharpening. Click on files here. Click on manual download under disable vignette. The previous mod disables vignette during crouching. Click on slow download here. Mod FSR frame generation does not render the floating papers properly, so I'll be using a mod to disable these papers. Trash Begone. Available on Nexus Mods. Click on files here. Scroll down until you find Trash Begone. Floating debris. Click on manual download here. Click on slow download. Open Dolphin File Explorer. Go to downloads. Here you'll find all of the files that you just downloaded. I have transferred them to another directory. Does not matter. First I'll install Optiscaler mod. Open its archive file. Select the highlighted files. 2 of them. Need to extract them. Just drag and drop them outside of this archive window like this. Now just change the name of optiscaler.dll file to dxgi or dbg help. Some mods like Reshade come with their own dxgi.dll file, so they can conflict with Optiscaler's dxgi.dll file. In this case, you can use the file name dbg help for Optiscaler. I'm not using Reshade, so I'll just use dxgi as the file name. Now just open optiscaler.ini file. Just set tx12 upscaler to XeSS. Set FG type to Nukems, as we will be using Nukem9's mod. If you don't want to use Nukem9's mod, only want to use Optiscaler XeSS, just set FG type to no FG. Then select XeSS as the upscaler from the in-game settings. In case of Nukem9's mod, we need to select DLSS from the in-game settings. Click on save, close. Now just copy the extracted files. I'll just cut them. Need to paste them in the game's install directory. Select the game in your Steam library. Right click, manage, click on browse local files. Open bin folder. Open x64 folder. Paste the mod files here next to the game's main exe file. Done. Now I'll be installing Nukem9's mod. Open its archive file. Open dll_version folder. You just need to extract this DLL file. DLSS v2 FSR3 AMD is better. Drag and drop it outside of this archive window like this. And there it is. Close this archive window. Select it. Right click, cut. Paste it in the same directory where you install Optiscaler Mod. Optiscaler Mod will inject Nukem9's mod into the game. Paste. Now I'll be installing Fakenvapi API. Open its archive file. You just need to extract these two files. Drag and drop them outside of this archive window. And there they are. Select them. Right click, cut. Paste them in the same directory where you install Nukem9's mod. Bin x64 right here. Now I'll be installing the other mods to fix the frame generation related graphical artifacts. I'll start with FrameGen Coasting Fix mod. Just need to extract the archive folder present inside this archive file. There it is. Drag and drop it outside of this archive window. Done. Do the same thing for the other mods. Disable Vignette. Extract the archive folder. Trash Begone mod. Again extract the archive folder. Last but not least, Crouch Vignette Effect Remover mod. Extract the archive folder. Now this archive folder contains the file corresponding to the mods that we want to enable. Open it, go to the last subdirectory. These are the 4 archive files corresponding to the mods. Now just go back, copy the archive folder, extracted folder, just cut it, show you where to paste it. Open the game's install directory, paste it right here, right into apply to all. Open the archive folder, PC folder, mod folder. These 4 archive files should be present here in the game's directory. Install the game on Steam Deck's internal SSD. Now you don't need to add a launch argument to the game. Game should load Optiscaler mod automatically. Switch to SteamOS gaming mode. Launch the game. In-game graphics settings. Just set the resolution scaling setting to DLSS. Yeah, the mod is working. DLSS super resolution preset transformer, it does not matter. CNN mod will just replace DLSS with XeSS. Using the Upscaler's balance preset. Sharpness level I'll just set it to 0.3, up to you. Frame generation, very important. First I'll disable it. DLSS frame generation got unlocked. I want to show you the image quality of Optiscaler XeSS Upscaler first. Low preset, post processing effects, disable all of them. Go to medium settings with the low preset, apply. You need to restart the game. 800p resolution. NVIDIA Reflex on should get replaced with Latency Flex on Linux. VSync off, no FPS cap applied. Yeah, we are in. Just open Optiscaler menu by pressing the insert keyboard key. If you don't have a keyboard, just map insert key to any of Steam Deck's backup button. Increase the size of the menu. Click on the drop down bar next to menu UI scale. 1.1 value selected. Here make sure XeSS is selected from this drop down bar. Version 2.0.1. Input DLSS. DXGI spoofing is off. Auto Explorer setting is on. You don't need to change anything from here. Save and I close. Alright. Yeah, now just check out the image quality. Oh my god, it's looking so clean. Just observe the fence in the background. I am completely stationary. The fence is not exhibiting that ugly texture shimmering. Even the leaves of the tree, they are stable, not flickering when viewed from a far off distance. Some flickering effect will be noticeable during motion. It's expected. This is the DP4A model of XeSS, not AI based. Steam Deck comes with an RDNA 2 based GPU. Still the image quality is looking good. Let's check out the barbed wire on the barricade here. It's very stable. Barricades here. Again, no texture shimmering. And this is the balance preset of XeSS Upscaler version 2. FPS is within a range of 45 to 50. With the in-game XeSS Upscaler, FPS was close to 50, so a minor regression in performance. I really don't mind losing a few frames considering how good the image quality looks now. Okay, let's enable Nukem9's Mod FSR frame generation. You need to set frame generation to DLSS frame gen. Apply, restart the game. I'm in Little China. Open performance QAM settings, enable manual GPU clock speed setting. Set the value to 1400 MHz. Yeah, check out the added amount of smoothness. Nukem9's mod feels better. Its smoothing effect is better than the in-game FSR 3.1 frame generation. Latency increase, but yeah, it's manageable. Make sure auto aim is enabled, otherwise you'll find it very difficult to aim with FSR frame generation enabled. This is literally the worst case scenario, 60 FPS with frame generation. Smoothing effect is more consistent. Animation quality, it's not looking choppy now, see. Should be able to observe the fluidity, otherwise there's no point in enabling FSR frame generation, it's going to increase the latency. I'll be honest, in-game FSR frame generation was producing a higher latency. Okay, I'll show you some combat now. Steal the vehicle. Vehicle's bumper should not flicker in driving a vehicle at high speeds. Using a mod to fix this graphical artifact. Gain some speed. .50 FPS with frame generation. I just observed the vehicle's bumper. Use frame gen ghosting fix to fix this issue. As you can see, the bumper is not exhibiting any ghosting. Game's interface is also not flickering. Zoom out a bit. Even the shadow is not flickering, so everything worked. Highly recommended to use Nukem9's mod in this game instead of the in-game FSR 3.1 frame generation. Here we are getting close to 70 FPS. Oh my god, look at that smoothing effect. Base FPS here is on the higher side. Okay, now I'll test the game in Dogtown. Steam Deck can handle the vanilla version of the game, but in Phantom Liberty it struggles to maintain a steady 30 FPS. Not a good experience. Yeah, we're in Dogtown. Here FPS is close to 45. Frame generation is not going to help much as the base FPS is on the lower side. I mean, just look at the animation quality. Yeah, it's looking choppy, understandable. Not the real 40 FPS. I would not recommend playing Phantom Liberty on Steam Deck. Engage in combat. Auto aim is enabled. Otherwise, you'll struggle to aim properly. Aim for the head. Frame generation related graphical artifact. Just observe the gun's crosshair exhibiting some flickering. Even the in-game FSR frame generation produces this graphical artifact. No fix for it. FPS with frame generation. Oh no, low on HP, need to heal myself. Not going to survive. That's it with the video, guys. I hope you found it useful. Thanks for watching and have a nice day.